Brought to a halt just inside the Everton half. The ball is forward again, tidied up at the back, and Newcastle will play the ball all the way back to Dubravka in the Newcastle goal as he settles himself in to the evening. In front of him for tonight, Kieran Trippier, Lascelles, Shah and Matt Targett making his debut, and then Willock, Shelvey and Joe Linton in midfield with Fraser, Wood and San Maximan up there as well, as Wood will chase down here. Pickford has to be careful, slides out towards the edge of his area on the slightly damp surface, but manages to keep himself inside the penalty area. In front of Pickford for Everton tonight, Mason Holgate, Michael Keane and Yerry Mina make a back three with Coleman and Townsend out wide. Alan, Gomez, Gordon and Gray the midfield. There's Richarlison leading the line. It is he who will chase down to begin with. Fabian Schär is there first though. As I said, myself, Steve Pearson and Paul Szczerbakowicz. And Paul, I think we'd look at this game and say, well, two sides in theory that are out of form, but I'm not sure how far you can read into the form with all the changes.
With all the changes, absolutely. A new manager, of course, at Everton now as well. They had a very good start against Brentford in the FA Cup at the weekend. But as you said at the kickoff, this is an absolute six-pointer as Yerry Mina just gives the ball away. A chance now for Shelvey, who cracks one from the edge of the area just over the bar. But that was far too laid back there from Yerry Mina, just strolling out from the edge of his own penalty area, just giving the ball away under no pressure at all.
Yeah, terrible play really by Yerry Mina, as you say, far too casual. And one man you don't want to give the opportunity to outside the penalty area with a strike is John Joe Shelvey. On this occasion, early in the game, radar was slightly off.
Had options to pass that one as well. He could have looked over towards the left-hand side of the penalty, and already Jordan Pickford getting into his defenders there as well.
Yeah, not surprisingly, he's taking quite a while over this. I'm not sure how long it took the ball to come back out of the stand behind his goal, but it's certainly been a while before he's finally put the ball down, trying to give his team a little bit of settle down time in this game as he launches one right-footed downfield, looking towards Richarlison again, beaten in the air by Schär. Header will come in from Targett, but it will go straight out of play for an Everton throw-in midway inside the Newcastle half, right-hand side. And if you missed the pre-match team news, particularly from an Everton point of view, Dele Alli, El Ghazi and Calvert-Lewin all on the bench, along with Van der Beek. So not too many of the new signings available yet from a starting point for Everton yet. Kieran Trippier, one of the Newcastle new players into the squad, is on the field today for them, as we've said. Chris Wood also up front. On the bench, Guimaraes is on there for the moment, along with Dan Burn, who's not fully fit. He picked up a foot injury over the last few weeks, so just easing him into the play at the moment. As Everton have possession with Jordan Pickford. As usual, he was screaming at somebody in front of him to make a move, to do something different. So he's got an option, and Newcastle have won it back again deep inside the Everton half, although Shelvey can't keep possession on this occasion, and Everton might be able to break here. Richarlison picks up possession, plays a little ball inside to Gomez. That's a poor ball forward, though. Easily cut out by Trippier up over the halfway line. Plays a decent ball down the right channel. As players in the centre, if they can get it in here towards Wood. It's behind him, though, and Keane is there. But Newcastle already high press and plenty of energy.
Yeah, Everton barely able to cross the halfway line so far in these first 4 minutes. Another long ball down the left there for Richarlison just goes out of play, and Newcastle could start with a throw. But this is a sort of start that Eddie Howe wants from his team. I think he wants Newcastle to try and get that crowd on side, try and get an early lead if possible, because we can see that Everton have made some changes, so perhaps it's going to take them a little while to gel together.
Yeah, the ball is back with the Newcastle defence at the moment. They've given the ball away. San Maximan on this occasion not in sync with those inside him. Gomez picks up possession, but he's forced back towards the halfway line. Nowhere for the Everton midfielder to go. Here's Yerry Mina. Again with plenty of time. Again he plays a rather short ball in towards Gomez. Again puts him under pressure, and Everton then lose possession of the ball. Mina put Gomez twice into a situation when he was in a bit of a dead end. First challenge came in from Joe Linton, the second one taking the ball off him. It's Joe Linton who has possession now, but he's facing away from goal at the moment. Just plays the ball back over halfway, and just for the minute there seems to be a desperation for Everton to play out from the back as a long ball forward tries to find San Maximan down the left hand side. Coleman reads it, heads it back to Pickford, but for the minute Everton just haven't really settled into this game.
They haven't, but for all of that, Newcastle have had one run down the right hand side with a cross that was cleared and an effort from Shelby which went over the bar. So for all this pressing, Newcastle, they win the ball back just at the edge of the area, but one Brazilian fouling, another there according to Anthony Taylor, as Joe Linton brings down Alan.
Yeah, a little tap on the ankles. Referee Anthony Taylor is there to spot it. Yeah, a little push, nothing more. Made plenty of it, Alan, when he felt the hand on the back. He will head to the deck. A couple of other games this evening, of course. The only one that's kicked off in the Premier League so far alongside our game. West Ham against Watford also stands at 0-0 after around about 6 minutes in that one. Burnley against Manchester United to come. We'll keep an ear out on that for you and bring you the scores. And also 5 games in the Championship as well. So we'll keep an eye on those for you during the evening as a header comes away. Poor header again, picked up by Everton. They've got plenty of players forward here. Can they get the ball into the box on this occasion? They can't. The challenge comes in on Demarai Gray before he can hook it across. But this time it's the Toffees' turn to win back possession inside the opponent's half. Ball played forward again. Gordon will drop deep, turns away from Shelvey. Little ball into Alan. Got players out wide with Gomez if you can find him. Trippier slides in. Townsend, I should say, rather than Gomez, who's out there. There's a beard that threw me as the ball's into the area. Ball is headed away, though, on this occasion. It should be tidied up by Newcastle. Saint-Maximin gets it back, but an early tackle from Gomez. It's all rather frantic inside the Newcastle half just at the moment. Nice ball by Gordon, finds Richarlison. He tries to find Demarai Gray, but the pass was a little overhit, and Newcastle will win it back. Wood will come into his own half and win the foul. And finally, after a couple of minutes, we get a chance for a little bit of a breather because it just got a little bit frantic there.
Yeah, it has been a bit of a hectic start here at St James's Park. A much better start from Newcastle in terms of the possession. Everton finally getting a chance to go forward. Just a moment, got a great run there down the middle from Anthony Gordon, who is winning a lot of plaudits. He's slowly been getting into the team in the last few months, and Frank Lampard sticking with him in his first 2 games.
They certainly are, for the moment at least. Anthony Gordon, nice bright start from him, along with Gomez in midfield. Alan putting himself around as you'd expect, as the ball is going to be brought back here for a free kick, which Fabian Schär will take quickly. Knocks it long downfield, headed away by Keane. It will bounce on halfway. Trippier and Richarlison challenge for it, but Newcastle able to tidy up back towards Dubravka, who takes a rather heavy touch to try and get himself away from Richarlison coming forward, and in the end he just puts it straight out of play for a throw-in.
What Everton need to remember as well is that although Newcastle may have made a bright start, they're under real pressure here as well. There's a real expectancy now that with these signings, with the new owners, that the club is going to start moving in the right direction. They're still in the bottom 3, of course, so from all this positive start from Newcastle, if Everton could just take the sting out of it in the next few minutes, they could actually end up getting the crowd on the backs of the home players as well.
Absolutely, the pressure will come. At the moment it's eased off because Newcastle have made a bright start to the game as they play a long ball downfield, rather into nothing though on this occasion. Bounces straight through. Saint-Maximin looks round as if to say, well, what exactly do you want me to do with that kind of pass forward? Even with his pace he wasn't going to get there. Pace of Demarai Gray at the other end of the field. He's lost possession, and then Joe Linton does the same. Alan steps in. It's all rather messy at the moment as the ball works its way out to Coleman, right-hand side. Room for a cross, puts one in towards the far post. Townsend was coming in, heads it almost straight down into the floor. He applauds the cross from Coleman, but the header in the end, really poor from Townsend, not troubling Dubravka.
No, it's not his first, is it, Andros Townsend heading, and you can see that he was probably trying to get himself into a better position. Richarlison was in a great position as well in the middle of the penalty area. Townsend could have just nodded it back to him, but he's much more comfortable being the player that crosses it rather than the one trying to get on the end of it.
A goal kick to be taken by Dubravka. Newcastle looking to secure back-to-back Premier League victories for the first time since May after that win, which seems like about 6 weeks ago against Leeds. And it's they who are on the attack again. Fraser scampers as he does down the right-hand side, pulls it back, corner of the penalty area. Saint-Maximin, square for Shelvey, just overhit the pass a little. It was a good opportunity for Shelvey. Looked like he got himself a bit of space on the edge of the box, but as the pass came in too heavy, defenders able to cover. It was going away from Shelvey's right foot as well. He was forced to hit it on his left. The referee Anthony Taylor just a little bit in the way of Shelvey, just to the side of him as well, perhaps just slightly delayed him. And just as we were seeing a replay of that strike, we can see Seamus Coleman flying off the pitch there, trying to keep a ball in play, crashing into the Newcastle manager, Eddie Howe. Yeah, got a little shove from Joe Linton, didn't he? And then could not stop himself. He tried everything to pull up. Good job it wasn't Nigel Pearson, if you remember what he did. Was it to MacArthur? When he was Leicester manager against Palace, he pretty much got him in a headlock after MacArthur dared to slide into him. But Eddie Howe taking it a little bit better than that, I think. I'll just point out, no relation, Nigel. As the ball is played across for Everton with Keane. Another poor ball forward out out of the Everton defence. Looks like they want to play out from the back at the moment, but not comfortable, particularly with so many black and white shirts inside the opponent's half at the moment. And it's Newcastle who yet again win it back on halfway. Fabien Schär was in very quickly there, and Shelvey able to tidy up. He only tidied up backwards to his keeper, but at the moment they are keeping Everton well and truly at arm's length, apart from that one cross from Coleman. The ball is picked up in defence again. Long left-footed ball downfield. Looking up towards Wood, who wins the header. Can't find Sam Maximan down the left-hand side, though. Challenge comes in from Coleman. He will get it back again, the Everton man, and over the halfway line. Players out wide might have been the better option with Townend, but he played it short instead to Damari Gray, who turns himself inside out on that occasion. Cannot get the ball under control. And Newcastle will clear. Sam Maximan this time is slowed down by Gordon before he can get over the halfway line. And a messy passage of play, leaves it with Allan, tries to force it through to Richarlison. He will pick up possession, the Brazilian, but wide on the right-hand side. He in turn finds Coleman behind him. Back to Gordon again, nice turn from him. Poor cross, really, though, inside the box. He tried to whip one in first time. Easily cleared, but only as far as Gomez. He will go backwards, though, to Mason Holgate. Nice ball forward from him into an attacking position for Anthony Gordon. Again, the ball breaks away, falls to Richarlison on the short. Seemed to be nothing there, but the Newcastle defence just dallied a little, and Richarlison will not wait on when the opportunity comes.
No, absolutely not. What was interesting, Steve, is after that shot from Richarlison went wide, a good number of Newcastle fans behind the goal got up and started berating their own players. They're starting to get a little bit frustrated here with what we've seen in the last few minutes, because after a bright start, it's Newcastle who can't get over the halfway line now.
Yeah, certainly settled down Everton a little in this game. Goes from one side to the other, all a little bit, as I said, frantic, a little bit disjointed, at least for the moment, after 12 and a half minutes of the game, as Dubravka clears one long downfield. Wood and Joe Linton will battle for it. Yerry Mina, though, pushes them both out of the way to make the challenge, but then Newcastle clear long downfield again. Sam Maximan will break away. He's got blue shirts all round him, but he does well to win a throw-in, deep inside the Everton half, left-hand side. Thinks about taking it quickly, but then he'll just drop it and leave it behind as Matt Targett comes forward. Level with the edge of the penalty area, left-hand side. Number 13 on his back for the new Newcastle man. Throws it short this time towards Sam Maximan. He turns away from a couple of challenges and then heads off towards the penalty area. Fortunately, he then steps on the ball and Everton will clear. Targett taps the ankles of Gomez. Referee allows play to continue because the Everton man still has it. But in the end, there's no quick attack as Newcastle close the door. And Everton, in fact, forced all the way back to Holgate, who does well to turn away first time from Ryan Fraser. But again, Damari Gray forced to come deep to try and pick up some scraps. Challenge comes in. Referee happy with it. Referee not then happy with the challenge from Holgate. And we could have an early booking here. In fact, we are. Yellow card is already out. 13 minutes on the clock. The first booking of the game.
The first booking of the game. Holgate, for a second, thought about arguing with it, but I don't think he's got much of a ground to argue with that one, really. Just a little bit late and got quite a lot of the man as well, so it's only taken 30 minutes. We have our first booking.
Yeah, poor challenge from Holgate as he challenged straight through the back of Fraser, as you say.
Yeah, it's never more than a yellow, though, is it, really? I mean, it's quite a strong challenge, but there's never any danger of that being a red. But Ryan Fraser certainly had his injury problems. Eddie Howard all about those from being his manager at Bournemouth as well. And this looks bad for Fraser.
Yeah, he's in quite a bit of pain as he is on the floor for the minute. But they will deal with it. Looks like it's one on the back of the ankles, I think. It may be taking a kick to the Achilles. Never a pleasant thing to have happen. Ryan Fraser, for the moment, left in a crumpled heap on the floor. Yeah,
well, if he was to go off, there are a few options. There's Jacob Murphy, there's Miguel Almiron, and potentially Guimaraes as well. So there are a few options should he have to go off, but I would certainly prefer him to stay on the field. He's only just been getting into the team recently as Ryan Fraser.
Yeah, certainly one of the things that this transfer window has done for Newcastle. It's strengthened the bench, hasn't it, as well as the starting lineup, you would say, because that bench looks a lot stronger. I know not everybody's in at the moment. There are players who will come off that bench and be first teamers, I'm pretty sure, in a couple of weeks. But if you take out the players who are on the field, that squad looks a lot better to me now.
It does, but you could say it's almost a mirror image of what's happening with the Everton bench as well.
Yes,
you made the point just after kickoff that they've got a much stronger bench as well, and certainly with the attacking and creative midfield options now, they've got a lot more on that Everton bench. But Fraser off the field for the time being. Looks like he will be coming on, and we're going to see this free kick now from Trippier.
Yeah, wide on the right-hand side, about midway inside the Everton half, maybe a little further away. Would tell you about goals elsewhere, but quite frankly, in the 6 other games, there hasn't been any yet, so we're not alone in being 0-0 as Trippier whips one in towards the penalty area. It comes off Wood in the end. Didn't really challenge forward as it came through players in front of him, sort of hit the New Zealand player rather than anything else, and just bobbles harmlessly to Pickford.
It does. I just noticed Anthony Taylor acknowledging the linesman. I wonder if there was an offside that they spotted, but the referee says play on because the goalkeeper's caught it anyway. I think the flag did go up.
Yeah, it certainly did, but as you say, advantage played basically as far as Newcastle are concerned, as now Matt Targett finds himself laying on the floor, holding the back of his heel for the minute. We didn't really see what happened. We were still looking at a replay of the earlier challenge. See it again here. Demarai Gray coming in. Just trod on Target as he came across. Again, nothing nasty in it at all, but an awkward one. It is a free kick for Newcastle. Then again, it's midway inside the Everton half, but again, it's out wide on the left-hand side. 17 minutes gone in our game. Just so you know as well, Burnley against Manchester United has just got underway in the Premier League. That completes the 3 matches for this evening in the top flight. West Ham, Watford, the other one. Team news there, Kurt Zouma was playing from the start, was the main headline, as the ball is forward from the free kick, headed across by Lascelles, headed out by Gomez, knocked back in by Shelvey, a long looping ball which drifts away. Superb first touch from Sam Maximan, who then goes down and says he's been tackled. Referee Anthony Taylor says no you weren't, or certainly not enough to bring you down, and Everton will therefore come away and leave the Newcastle man lying in a crumpled heap on the sideline as Gomez turns beautifully away from the challenge.
You can't fault Willock's effort there for trying to win the ball back for Newcastle, really pressing there on Andre Gomez, but the visitors do bring the ball away, and they're down the left-hand side now with Holgate.
Yeah, they certainly are, as the ball back with Demarai Gray. He'll play it to Alan. He's closed down quickly though. Everybody in a black and white shirt now behind the ball inside their own half of the field as Everton play with possession around the halfway line. It's back with Keane. Looks forward, wants a little ball over the top, but nobody's really making a run. Everybody's still with their numbers showing to Dubravka, so no chance of anybody spinning away to find that bit of space that Everton need. It just looks a little bit static sometimes. Richarlison is lively, but when they've got the ball in midfield, Everton at the minute, they look like they're playing a bit too safe for me.
They are, and you should really try to go for this Newcastle team, because one thing that they've shown certainly this season is that they are susceptible in defence. They do make errors, they do give the ball away, so put pressure on that defence to get more of those errors. I think if Everton, as you say, are going to play 5 or 6 square passes in midfield, it's not going to help, but they go forward now with Richarlison and Gray.
Yeah, that's better as well, as Gray rolls it out wide to Townsend, left-hand edge of the penalty. He steps inside, right-footed curling shot, deflects off a defender. Dubravka was flying across his goal, so I suspect it was heading somewhere towards the far corner. In the end, I think it's just about bounced out for a corner. It'll be the first corner of the game to Everton.
It is. I just wonder, Townsend prefers being a left-footer playing on the right, doesn't he? He's a left-footer on the left this evening, and that's why he was forced to take that shot on with his weaker right foot. Deflected away for a corner, but may well be that him and Gordon might be rotating as the game goes on as well.
Yeah, we didn't see a replay of the shot, so we don't know how close it was to being on target, but it has given Everton a set piece on their right-hand side. There's 4 players all crowded around the penalty area in penalty spot, I should say, in blue shirts, as Demarai Gray puts it in towards the far post. Mina rises highest, but his header just loops harmlessly away and behind. Derry Mina, not surprisingly, up big, but not able to control the header.
No, it was a timing issue there for Mina, wasn't it? He's jumping, and I think he's up there a little bit too early. He's almost waiting for that ball to arrive on his head when he wants to be attacking it when it comes across him. So it's just a little bit delayed there, or a little bit early, I should say, from Mina and getting that header wrong. But a sighter for Everton, as I say, they need to be putting pressure on this Newcastle defence. Newcastle started brightly, but it's just been a little bit more difficult for them in the last 5 minutes or so to just maintain those energy levels.
20 minutes gone, and we've finally got a goal somewhere across the evening in the Championship of the Premier League. It's Derby County who've taken the lead against Hull City. We'll confirm with the scorer on that shortly, as Everton have possession, but inside their own half. Ball is back with Mina to tidy up.
Well, just very quickly on Derby, I mean, it's so... The credit that Wayne Rooney deserves for getting something out of that team, giving them a realistic chance of staying up, and if all rumours are true, then also turning down the chance to go to Everton as well. So it really has been an amazing season for Rooney and for Derby. Just fascinated to see whether they can actually stay up or not.
Yeah, they managed to get themselves off the bottom of the table. Thanks for reminding me, Paul, as the ball is back for a free kick. Handball on Demarai Gray.
We're impartial when we're on duty, Steve. You know that.
Absolutely. Might not be if the result changes from Kenilworth Road. As the ball is settled down for a free kick, as we said, deep inside the Newcastle half. Handball against Demarai Gray. He tried to break away down the right-hand side. Pretty obvious. Arms were up above his head and blocked the clearance away. So it will be a free kick to Newcastle. Everton's defensive line is ridiculously high, midway inside their own half of the field as the ball is launched long downfield. But Keane is the only one really who reads it. Wood was heading off in the opposite direction and Keane just stepped forward a couple of yards and headed the ball powerfully but straight out of play for a throw-in, which Matt Targett will come across to take, having got the ball off Frank Lampard. Forsyth it was, by the way, with the goal for Derby. Derby 1, Hull City 0. Ball forward again for Wood to chase. He will battle with Yerry Mina. The ball comes off the Everton man, but the referees decided that Wood was pushing him, and therefore it'll be a free kick.
Yeah, you can see the Newcastle fans behind that goal weren't too impressed with that decision. We'll see from the replay. There's a bit of a pull on the shirt of Yerry Mina. Mina then trying to use the body just to get himself in front of the ball, and Wood, I think, just a little bit too keen there to try and win that one back.
Yeah, a little push in the back. Mina made the most of it, but as he would, as you'd expect, he wasn't going anywhere. So it will be a free kick to Everton, which Jordan Pickford will take as he waves forward. Then waves on the other side as well, so I've no idea who he's actually aiming at in terms of this one. He just pushes it straight down the right-hand channel, but straight onto a Newcastle header. Scher clears the ball away, but again it goes straight out of play. And we've suddenly got into a very scrappy spell of possession from both sides at the moment. Neither side able to really get control of the ball or the game for the minute. Stands Newcastle 0, Everton 0 as Mina puts the ball back to Pickford. Does that little flick out from away from his feet and then left-footed launches one downfield. It goes over the head of Townsend, but Lascelles is there to tidy up. Back it comes to Shelvey. Wants to play it forward early but can't get the ball under control and in the end just pushes it out wide. And eventually it will go out of play for a throw-in, which Kieran Trippier, having won the throw, will take himself. We are already a quarter of the way through the game. Nothing to trouble the scorers so far, either in our game or in the Premier League. See if Paul has a bit more luck in the second half of the first half.
Thank you very much, Steve. Yeah, and it's Shelby that lays the ball off to Willock. He's under pressure there from Anthony Gordon, who takes the ball off him. Gordon now over the halfway line, has options left and right, goes to Demarai Gray. He's got a bit of space as well as he gets to the edge of the area. 3 players to aim for inside the box. He takes on Matt Targett, lays it off towards Andre Gomez. He's about 30 yards out, having to back away as Willock tries to close him down. And a bit of a shame for Everton, really, after that quick break forward, having to go back all the way to the halfway line. Now a long ball to Gordon. He hits it first time into Seamus Coleman, but Scher is there to cover, and the Swiss international clears it down the line. Not a very good clearance, though, straight to Alain, who just overruns that slightly, and it goes out of play. But in the meantime, Demarai Gray sat down. He looks like he's in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, there's a frustration there, as though he knows there's a problem. He's got quite a bit of strapping on his right knee under the socks. But clearly there is something, and already there's changes on the bench that are about to come, and an interesting change it will be.
Yes, absolutely. Dele Alli getting ready to come on for Everton. And the fact that he's already been given instructions here and he's taking his tracksuit off means that they know that there's a problem with Demarai Gray. As you said, a lot of strapping on that right knee. But it's actually the left knee, funnily enough, that's being checked over here. Yeah,
it is. Seems to be a problem with the thigh that we're working on at the moment. Certainly high up on the leg. But Demarai Gray seemed to know straight away as he flopped down onto the floor, shook his head in frustration and patted the ground with both hands. He knew that whatever it was that's causing the problem is going to take him off. But as you said, we talked about strength on the bench. Well, I know there's been some question marks about this man over the last few months at Spurs, but if he's playing on song, it's a good player to have to bring on here.
Yeah, and you're nice saying it's only been a few months, Steve, because it's been longer than that. I think he's been through 3 managers now that haven't been quite convinced on him, have they? But Dele Alli, well, there's no doubt about his credentials in terms of his talent, in terms of how good he is on the ball. As you say, it's just a lot of question marks as to whether he can get his mind right. But Ali is on for Demarai Gray, who's straight down the tunnel. And another Derby link there, of course, is one of Frank Lampard's coaches now, of course, is Paul Clement.
Absolutely, and as you say, Gray not hanging around straight up into the dressing room to probably get a little bit of treatment and get changed straight away. Good round of applause from the Everton supporters for their new signing to come on. let's see what he can do in this game, because at the moment there's nobody really that's got hold of the game and sparked it off. The players that we expect to start to take control, Shelvey in midfield, particularly Townsend out wide, who can really impact on a game from an Everton point of view, given the space, not really got into the game so far.
No, I mean, nobody's over a 6 out of 10 so far, are they, really, in this game? No one's really made too much of an impact, but Newcastle giving away a free kick just inside their own half. Joelinton just running into Yerry Mina, and Everton having a bit of a quick discussion here before switching everything. They had 3 players stood over the ball. Now 2 of them have stepped away, and it's Anthony Gordon and Andros Townsend standing over this free kick. Newcastle have set up around 25 yards, maybe even 30 yards out from goal with their offside line. As Townsend waits to float this one in. Is it going to be his left foot? No, it's a short ball to Andre Gomez. And then he rolls it to Townsend. It's not the best free kick so far, as the cross hasn't come in. Now Townsend puts the ball in, aiming for the header. Gomez. It's headed up in the air. Holgate was up there as well, before Anthony Gordon just allows that one to go out of play. And it will be a throw to Everton down the right-hand side. So this problematic little spell here for Newcastle in terms of not being able to get out of their own half carries on as Everton take the throw on. It's Anthony Gordon gets the ball off Coleman, goes back towards Yerry Mina, trying to switch play over towards the left-hand side. That's where Holgate and Townsend are waiting. Holgate heads it on. It doesn't quite get through to Dele Alli. Andre Gomez trying to stop Joelinton. Joelinton crashing into Holgate there. I don't think there was any intent in that. It was just the way that Joelinton was falling over. Happened to catch Holgate, but Everton have the ball back quickly here with Andre Gomez. Runs straight into Ryan Fraser. That's good covering, though, from Townsend. And you said that no player's really taken this game by the scruff of the neck. I think it's fair to say that based on the last 7 to 10 minutes, Everton are starting to grow in confidence now, I think.
Yeah, I think you certainly say that at the moment. They seem to have settled down a little bit. It was a very, very poor first 10 minutes from them, you would say. Then they settled themselves down and got themselves back into better possession, but most of it was inside their own half. They're starting to push back now. They're starting to put the pressure on this Newcastle side and take them back. Still not creating chances, though, at the moment. So even though they look better and seem to have weathered a little early storm, it doesn't look comfortable. A couple of goals elsewhere, by the way. Manchester United have gone 1-up at Turf Moor against Burnley, and in the Championship, Gary Medina has scored his 6th goal of the season for Blackpool away at Coventry. So it's Coventry 0, Blackpool 1. And confirmation that Rafael Varane has scored the goal for Manchester United this evening at Turf Moor. I think that's his first one for Manchester United in the Premier League. Yes, it is. He's finally got himself on the score sheet, the defender. So we finally have a goal in the 3 Premier League games.
We do, yes. And I worry a little bit, I must admit, for Burnley now with Chris Wood gone. Just wonder where their goals are going to come from. It wasn't as if he was getting 25 goals from anywhere, but he was that serious goal threat. And you just feel as though with him gone, it could be a difficult end of the season for Burnley. They've got all those games in hand, but if they're not going to be scoring, it's going to be very difficult for Sean Dyche's side. But here at St James's Park, it's still Everton on the ascendancy here, down the right-hand side. A couple of very poor efforts to stop Seamus Coleman. He's still able to get his cross in just over the head of Richarlison. Drops to Allan at the edge of the area, but he allows that ball to bounce away from him. And Joe Willock in the end can clear the ball. But look at that from Sam Maximan. Absolutely furious with his teammates there. That they just cleared the ball long when it should have been passed to him. Meanwhile, Anthony Taylor is just asking for comment. I'm not quite sure what's happened here. It's Frank Lampard who's being told off. Is there perhaps a suggestion that Lampard said something or did something on the touchline?
No, he's holding up, isn't it, on Yerry Mina, holding player forward as Sam Maximan went out. The ball was miles over his head, so it wasn't clear-cut in that sense, but it was some clear holding, I think. Not sure whether the referee's given it or not. I don't think Anthony Taylor liked the reaction. He has given it, in fact. By the way, VAR checking the Manchester United goal, so no guarantee that one's going to stand. Luton have gone 1-0 up against Barnsley, and Fulham are 1-up against Millwall in the Championship.
And that's London derby there. Just Fulham trying to get into some sort of a form again. Of course, they've been superb this season. Mitrovic getting so many goals for them as they look to try and bounce back into the Premier League. But here, 2 sides who are looking to try and ensure that they stay in the Premier League. And just coming up to half an hour gone. And it is still goalless between Newcastle and Everton. But it is the visitors that are looking a bit more comfortable on the ball now. If anything, if you didn't know that this was St James's Park, you'd think that Everton were the home team because they're just seeing a bit more possession, just looking to try and get forward a little bit more as Holgate clears the ball long. It's over the head of Gordon, straight onto the head of Fabian Schär. Heads it forward, goes over Willock, but Everton have the ball back quickly here now with Gordon going back towards Ali. Ali trying to find Richarlison. He gets there just ahead of Schär, and now he goes towards Dele Alli. Ali breaking into the box, tries a right-footed strike which is charged down. He then flicks a second ball in. Richarlison with a lovely back heel. It's in the back of the net, but as I say, there's no chance that goal is going to be given. Richarlison's about 5 yards offside.
Yeah, he's almost sat in the front row, isn't he, by the time he actually used possession of the ball. As you say, nice little move from Everton, though. Lovely play in between. As I say, first ball through from Gordon. Dele Alli did really well, kept himself onside, got the strike in and reacted really quickly to it, but Richarlison had gone through in case there was an opportunity from that first ball. Actually, to some extent, if he leaves it, there might be an opportunity for Coleman coming in at the far post, who wasn't a million miles away.
He wasn't, no, and Richarlison actually slipped as well. If he'd have stayed on his feet, he might have had time to at least assess it better and leave it, or maybe even not be offside when that second ball was flicked to him. Confirmation now as well that it's back to being 0-0 at Turf Moor. The game that kicked off at 8 p.m. It is still goalless after Raphael Varane's goal was disallowed by VAR. So potentially an offside there we're hearing, Steve. So it's still, that'll be good news as far as Burnley are concerned. Very bad news as far as Everton are concerned, because Newcastle are in possession. Yerry Mina has hit the deck, but here comes Saint-Maximin now, and he finds Joelinton. Oh, that's a heavy touch from Joelinton. A strike at the edge of the 6-yard box is charged down, and Anthony Gordon had a chance to put the ball out of play, but he chooses to put Everton on a counter-attack. There's a sliding challenge there from Trippier to try and stop Townsend. Gordon gets the ball back. Shelvey then crunches him. That's a strong challenge there from John Joe Shelvey, and there's going to be a booking at the very least, but Everton players want even more.
No, I think it's nothing more than a yellow card in that sense in terms of the challenge. But it's a really poor challenge from Shelvey. Not the first or the last, obviously, from him. And Anthony Taylor is over there. He's just trying to settle it down, let the players calm themselves down. But Yerry Mina being down at the other end of the field is a bigger issue for Everton as it stands at the moment. Referee has got the yellow card out. So we've got players all over the pitch at the moment. Yerry Mina, though, straight down on the field. Again, he's holding the top of his leg as though it's a thigh injury again for him, perhaps. But he knew straight away, didn't he, that there was a problem, and a yellow card is shown to John Joe Shelvey. No great surprise on that one. We'll see the replay again here as the challenge came in. Yeah, poor one, really poor.
It is bad. I mean, it's as I say, it's probably never enough to be a red, but it's poor play there from Shelvey, and it's poor play here from Joelinton as well. After Saint-Maximin rolls the ball to him, it's a very heavy touch from the Brazilian, and that strike then going towards goal, saved by Pickford. But you can see from Eddie Howe's face, as soon as he saw that first touch from Joelinton, he knew there wasn't going to be much chance of a goal from that particular situation because the ball was overplayed.
Yeah, it certainly was poor play from Joelinton. That first touch, as you say, really good around the edge of the box. So we've seen two nice moves on those two occasions. But as we say, Shelvey, clear yellow card at the other end of the field. Yerry Mina is at least stood up, although it doesn't look like
he is. But the physio is saying that he's going to have to be subbed. Just noted as well, of course, that the special guest of the new owners this evening is Gareth Southgate, sat right next to the owners. So as I say, Eddie Howe needs to make sure he gets some good results.
How does he always get a ticket, Gareth Southgate?
No, even during the lockdown, he was able to turn up, wasn't he? He can always be there. But in fairness, we joke about it sometimes, but it is important for him because, of course, you see a lot more being in the stands than you do from TV pictures, where you only really see where the ball is. So it's important for the manager, and also important for him for the players to know that he is there watching them live. Yerry Mina looking in a very bad way. I mean, the physio said it's all over. I can't see how he's going to be able to stay on here.
No, and it looks like he isn't. He's trying to stretch out the thigh muscle, but it's not working at all. So Damari Gray already gone as far as Everton are concerned. Now Yerry Mina is off the field, and there will be the substitution. Jared Branthwaite will come on. No great surprise there. As we said, we've already seen Dele Alli come on. So two substitutions enforced on Frank Lampard even before the half-time interval. Still 0-0 here. Looks like we may have a goal for Manchester United. I'll not jump in too early, but Paul Pogba has the ball in the back of the net for Manchester United. Fulham, by the way, the goal 1-0. Mitrovic, the man you mentioned, Paul, scoring the goal there. Luton's goal coming from Campbell against Barnsley, so they lead by a goal to nil. Is Everton prepared to take this free kick?
Well, this is our after that crunching challenge from John Joe Shelvey. And it's over on the left-hand side. Townsend and Gordon have been the free kick takers for Everton this evening. And they're having a quick discussion between themselves as to what to do. Newcastle have set up in front of the D in terms of their offside line. So is it going to be an out-swinger from left foot of Townsend or an in-swinger from Gordon? It's an in-swinger from Gordon heading towards the penalty. There's a bit of pinball. It drops straight to Mason Holgate. Deflects off the defender and it's in the back of the net. Looks like it's an own goal from... it's Lascelles that's got the final touch. And on 36 minutes, it's Everton who take the lead at St James's Park. They've been the better side, barring the first 5 to 10 minutes in this game. But it's a disappointing goal from Newcastle's point of view. Whipped in towards round about the penalty spot, Steve, and then it's just a bit of pinball.
Yeah, real mess, wasn't it? The ball bouncing around, as you say. Holgate putting it towards the line. Great clearance off the line. Two players sliding in, managed to block it before it got over the whitewash, but it came straight back onto Lascelles. He does have a habit of being in the wrong place at the wrong time, doesn't he, Jamal Lascelles? Through no fault of his own, I hasten to add. And the ball just comes off him straight into the net. He cannot get away with it. I'm afraid it's a messy goal for a messy game, this one.
Yeah, it needed... It's either going to take a moment of real skill or something very scrappy to break the deadlock in this game. And it is the latter so. It's Newcastle 0, Everton 1 on 36 minutes. And the home side really needs to wake up here because they haven't had a particularly good game. They started brightly, but Everton weathered that early storm. Take nothing. I mean, let's not exaggerate that Everton are playing superbly well as they give the ball away deep inside their own half now. Chance here now for Willock breaking into the penalty area. He skips away, still a chance to get a shot away, just dawdled on it a little bit. And it eventually goes out for a corner. Yeah,
good play from Willock initially, wasn't it? He just kind of felt he over-elaborated a little. Should have had the strike in maybe a bit earlier, but at least he's won this side of corner. And they need to bounce back quickly here. Everton as Newcastle rather, as Manchester United go 2 up at Turf Moor.
They do, but it's a corner kick to Newcastle. Pickford there furiously trying to get his defenders in order. It's going to be an outswinger from Trippier. Actually sliced that one towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Header off the line and into the back of the net. And that may well be Jamal Lascelles that's headed that. It's whether it crossed the line after it hit the bar, we'll wait to see. Shelvey gets a touch on the line. But the man who scored an unfortunate own goal just 2 minutes ago, now potentially equalising for Newcastle.
That's appalling defending from Everton. It really, really is, because Lascelles just wanders towards the far post. Nobody picks him up at all. He's in 4 players on the edge of the box. He doesn't get picked up. He gets the header in. There is a player offside. He doesn't engage with it. Has it come off Shelvey or has it come off the back of the defender Holgate? We'll see from this replay. It comes down. I think it hits Holgate actually and goes in. That could be an own goal as well.
That will be a collector's eye because, of course, it was Holgate that deflected the ball for the goal that Everton scored a minute ago. But the Newcastle bench, it's their turn to celebrate now. A goal out of absolutely nothing. And Frank Lampard certainly won't be impressed with that because his side really worked hard to take that lead, and then giving it away with such a poor bit of defending.
Yeah, terrible defending, as you say, in terms of the ball in from the corner kick. As you say, Lascelles pulled away, easy header, free header. He's really unlucky. It comes back off the bar rather than dropping straight in as Holgate was in there. But really, really poor effort in the end from Everton defensively. After a messy goal at one end, we've had a scrappy goal at the other as well. As I say, it's kind of in keeping with the game. It's kind of in keeping with the 6-point attitude of the match so far. Just a correction, by the way, Manchester United have had a second goal ruled out on this occasion. So it remains at 1-0 at Turf Moor to Manchester United. Paul Pogba with the only goal of the first half, but United have had 2 goals ruled out now. Derby have gone 2-0 up against Hull on 38 minutes in the game there in the Championship.
Of course, Hull recently changing owners, changing manager. And Derby, of course, getting a bit more stability now under Wayne Rooney. But that's a big result for them if they can maintain it. We've got around 6 minutes to go here until half-time. Newcastle 1, Everton 1. The game coming to life in the last few minutes with those 2 quick goals. But it is the visitors in possession now, trying to work the ball over towards the right-hand side. Doesn't quite get through to Coleman. And now here come Newcastle down the left with Target just flicking the ball over Alan. And then it's Joe Linton trying to find Sam Maximan. But the ball is cleared out for a throw. Taken quickly by Joe Linton, going back towards his own penalty area. Fabian Schär just being closed down there by Richarlison. Target now being closed down by Gordon. Now a long ball over the top, but that's not a pass towards Chris Wood, who I have to say has had virtually no service in this game, as Richarlison is off down the right-hand side, appeals for offside. The flag doesn't go up for the time being, but then Richarlison overhits that cross by some way. It's no good for Dele Alli. Andros Townsend tries to keep it in play, and it goes out for a throw. Meanwhile, Anthony Gordon looks like he's in a bit of trouble there, Steve.
I was just saying, anybody with a pair of boots on might get a chance in this second half for Everton. A third player injury. It looks like he's going to be okay. He's whacked his shoulder somewhere along the line. He's holding it, but not in the sense of somebody who's in that much pain from a broken collarbone or something of that ilk. So fingers crossed he'll be able to carry on. But at the moment, it's the walking wounded for Everton. 2 substitutions made already. And another player holding his body in a way that suggests all is not well.
Absolutely, yes. And of course, with neither of those injuries being concussion injuries, they have been used as substitutes. And there is only one substitution left for Frank Lampard in this game now, after Premier League managers, Premier League clubs decided to go against the grain and to not allow for more substitutions that are pretty much permitted everywhere else across the football world now. But it is a throw to Newcastle down the right-hand side. Trippier's not really had too much of a chance to get forward in this game. We've seen more of him in defence, really. But a big signing that for Newcastle, of course. Once he gets into his groove, he's an excellent player.
Absolutely. His ball played forward from the throw-in straight into the area and deflects behind for another corner kick and set piece to Newcastle, which will set the alarm bells racing. But as you say, really good bit of business that from Newcastle with Trippier. I think they've had a decent transfer window in that sense. We've already talked about it, but I think the quality they brought in has certainly moved the squad forward, which is what they wanted to see.
Absolutely. Yeah, the idea is not to be reliant on 1 or 2 players across a squad of 25. You want to be able to have a few more big names in there, and that's precisely what they've done. They've won themselves a corner kick now, which is going to be taken on the left-hand side by Trippier, so it's going to be an in-swinger. It's a very flat cross he put in for the goal, but it's slightly more of an angle this time. It goes across the 6-yard box, clipped away by Coleman. A second ball coming back in. It's a good chance, but Chris Wood, it's almost like he wasn't ready for that ball coming back towards him. It's almost like he's a defender nodding it back to the keeper when he should be putting all his power into that. Yeah,
it didn't really get behind it at all. It did kind of loop up to him, so there wasn't many just pace on the ball as it came up from a deflection. But you expect Chris Wood to have more power on it than that, particularly from that distance.
When you see where he stood, he actually had time to take that down and even try and get a shot away. He wasn't forced to taking a header on first time there, Chris Wood. As we can see, Jordan Pickford, as is his way, clears the balls out for a throw off his own boot, and then blames his defenders for being in the wrong place. As the ball now going back towards Fabian Schär, he clips it forward, and it's taken down by Wood. He does well there to find Sam Maximan, who does well to get away from Andre Gomez. Oh, he overplays it though. Commentators, because I'd barely finished praising Sam Maximan there, and they just run straight into Andros Townsend.
Yeah, it is sometimes because of the pace he runs and the power that he wants to use at times. He can just overstretch a little too far, and that gives the defender the opportunity. But a lot of the time, if he can get the space, obviously that extra touch will zip him away from somebody, and then he's gone because you just cannot chase him down. So it's a gamble, isn't it? It's a balancing act for Sam Maximan all the time, the way that he plays. But it's great to see him when he's in full flight.
Absolutely, as a player who defenders hate playing against because he is so fast and he is so strong. As the ball now back on the halfway line, and it's out for a throw here. Everton just being a little bit chaotic here momentarily, giving the ball away a little bit too easily, and perhaps Joe Willock now with a chance as he gets away from Andre Gomez, and there's space down the left here for Target now. Target looking for Fraser with the header. It looked like it was going on target, but the tall frames of Keane and the even taller frame there of Branthwaite heads that out for a corner.
Yeah, lovely ball in towards the far post, wasn't it? Ryan Fraser, probably the man you don't want really coming in on it, but he managed to get a header at least back across goal. In the end, blocked out, but another good set-piece opportunity for Newcastle. Third of the first half, scored the goal from one of them, of course. Needs to be better marking from Everton here as Trippier sets himself.
Yeah, well, it was from this side, wasn't it? And it was a very flat cross. Didn't really outswing it too much. Sent it along the 6-yard box. 2 Newcastle players inside that 6-yard box trying to get in the face of Jordan Pickford. It's a bit of a higher cross this time. from Trippier, and the header in the end from Lascelles goes a long way wide.
Yeah, same kind of ball, wasn't it, really, as you say, into the same kind of place, looking for the turn away of Lascelles towards the far post. See a replay again of the cross in from the left-hand side. Lovely ball in for Fraser to get there. He was probably going wide, but it might have dropped in the path of Wood, sniffing around on the far post, but not on this occasion. It's cleared away. Goal elsewhere, by the way, Coventry 1, Blackpool 1 in the Championship. Gyökeres with the goal.
Absolutely, as Pickford now clears this one long for Everton over the halfway line, but straight onto the head of Lascelles. And now a loose ball taken by Allan, rolls it towards Seamus Coleman, who gets away from Joe Linton. Now the ball with Anthony Gordon back towards Coleman, but quickly cleared. Not very far though by a target. Chance now for Allan, but he's off balance as he puts that cross in. And it angles out and away for a goal kick. Yeah,
poor again, wasn't it? There has been too many times, really, when Everton have managed to get the ball out wide. They've tried to put a cross in, it's been overhit, had too much on it, whichever way. It's, as I say, it's disappointing from an Everton point of view. You know, they'll be comfortable with the way that they've kept Newcastle largely at bay throughout the majority of the first half, but I think they'll be disappointed with what they've done with the ball most of the time in the Newcastle half as it stands at the moment. 3 minutes of stoppage time to be played. We're already well into it. Goal in the Championship, a collector's item. Barnsley have finally scored. It's Luton 1, Barnsley 1.
Absolutely. Morris with the goal there for Barnsley as those games now wind down towards half-time. All the Championship games were 7:45 kickoffs. The other 7:45 kickoff in the Premier League has actually just gone to half-time. Goalless between West Ham and Watford. And as Steve mentioned, we've still got around 2 minutes of the 3 of injury time to play in this first half. A bit of a risky back pass there from Target back towards Dubravka. There was a chance there for Richarlison to get on the end of it. And then a bit of pressure here for Shearer as Anthony Gordon closes him down. But the ball is out for a throw. And Newcastle will now have a chance to clear their lines. And see of action on this service tomorrow as well in the Premier League. Man City, Brentford, Norwich, Crystal Palace, Tottenham, Southampton, and an 8 o'clock kickoff, Aston Villa against Leeds United. Then 2 more games on Thursday, both 7:45 kickoffs. Liverpool against Leicester City and Wolves against Arsenal. As Newcastle just taking a bit of a while to get away from their own penalty area here, just almost like in rugby union, just using one throw on after another to try and get a bit further up the field. Of course, they're called lineouts in rugby union before anyone writes in, but it's quick throw taken in now by Target, goes in towards Sam Maximin. And he's bundled off the ball by Dele Alli, who's not really had a chance to get on the ball at all in this first half.
No, Everton, from an attacking point of view, you say, have kind of faded a little as the half's gone on. Not that Newcastle have been really pushing up any further. They've just been playing the same way as they have been in the first 15-20 minutes of the game when they put that high press on, kept the Everton team inside their own half, made them make 4 or 5 passes or look for a longer ball. And as you say, at the moment, it's working well. There's the odd glimpse where Everton get a ball around halfway. Just seen it there again. Ball forward to Richarlison, though he's well behind him. It looks disjointed at the minute a little bit from Everton after we thought they'd settled down.
Well, a long ball now is bounced straight through towards Sam Maximin, who breaks into the penalty area. He's twisting and turning, leaves it for Joe Linton, who slips. He's on the penalty spot. He had a clear sight at goal, and he slips and falls on the ball. And then the resulting deflected effort goes straight through towards Ryan Fraser, who's shot his charge down. But Joe Linton, he had a heavy touch earlier in the half. You can forgive that. That can happen, but this is almost unforgivable, Steve. We can't even get a chance to see that again because Everton, in the meantime, are trying to clear their lines. But Andre Gomez has crunched poor old Ryan Fraser. Really has been through the wars in the first half. And with seconds to go, Newcastle have won themselves a free kick.
Yeah, if ever a moment summed up a player and the misfortune that he's had since he arrived on Tyneside, that was it with Joe Linton. What play from Sam Maximin, as you say. He turned 3 defenders inside out, pulled it straight back to Joe Linton, who just got himself in a tangle and ended up falling on the floor. And, I feel sorry for the kid, I've got to be honest with you, because I've seen what he can do when he played in Germany. We know it's there somewhere, but he just cannot seem to get it out in Newcastle in front of
He
goal.
looks crestfallen now. He looks like he's just lost a penalty shootout for a cup final. He looks absolutely devastated, Joe Linton. He probably would prefer to stay on the pitch for another 5 or 10 minutes now rather than going in at half-time, but this surely must be the last action of this first half. We've got a free kick here on the right-hand side, which is put in by Trippier, headed away by Mason Holgate, and that's it for this first half at St James's Park. Newcastle 1, Everton 1, and myself and Steve will be back in 15 minutes.